Hi. um, I've been doing live streams lately, and I thought it'd be neat. Hold on, I need to take these off. I thought it would be neat to do a live. I thought it'd be neat to do. I'm testing the audio too, but I haven't done one of these on the game channel yet. So I thought I'd start with Spider-Man. It's gonna be Spider-Man or Alien Isolation. So the next one is probably gonna be Alien Isolation. And basically, what I'm trying to do is figure out the meaning of this story of Spider-Man. What does Spider-Man? What does Marvel Spider-Man mean? The video game. And I remember playing it. It was a lot of fun. I took a lot of screen grabs. A superhero game like that hasn't been around in a while, and they really delivered on the experience of web slinging. It was a lot of fun. I hope that it pans out. That they start doing things like Iceman, Spider-Man. I'd love it if Iceman showed up in a Spider-Man game. They're focused on all sorts of characters, but to get the ice sled right, and they have done it. Mr. Freeze has it in the Suicide Squad game as one of the latest, the later end DLC characters, and it looks amazing. They did the ice slide, but if Iceman shows up, what they got wrong is that ice sled doesn't drop off and die. Iceman's an Omega level mutant, so that sled should be staying there for a while. You should be able to zip around the city, and the game should have the memory to leave it up. Um, Let me think. Alright, so usually what happens with these, I just read the Wikipedia to refresh my memory. So, following the capture of Wilson Fisk by Spider-Man, I remember that the opening is a bank robbery or something. Following the capture of Wilson Fisk by Spider-Man, a masked gang known as the Inner Demons begins seizing Fisk's illicit assets. So the Kingpin goes away to jail, and someone else shows up to take his spot. Mary Jane and Spider-Man learn that the demons are seeking something called Devil's Breath. Already, I don't like it. With the aid of Officer Jefferson Davis, Spider-Man thwarts a demon attack. Okay. So I don't remember any of that. And my excitement, my excitement for this just dropped because they're going with church stuff. People use that term demons and stuff. It's Japanese. It's very Japanese nowadays. But I'm not into it. It's very church. That's life and death stuff. I wish they had picked a regular old goon. Jefferson is lauded for his heroism at a re-election event for Mayor Norman Osborn. Hold on, with the aid of Officer Jefferson Davis, Spider-Man thwarts a demon attack. Officer Jefferson Davis. That might be Miles' dad. Yep, I think so. Was known for being honest, dedicated, having strong moral compass, and for seeing Spider-Man as an ally. The husband of Rio Morales and father of Miles. What? That's how that family went? Okay. So, Officer Jefferson Davis is not Jefferson Davis Morales. Miles took his mom's name. That's what they wanted to say with that. Interesting. That's progressive somehow. I don't know, progressive. I don't know what to call it. It's traditions out the window, is what I mean. It's very new age. Spider-Man thwarts a demon attack. Jefferson is lauded for his heroism at the re-election event for Mayor Norman Osborn. So the Green Goblin is running for mayor. The demons attack the event, killing Jefferson and many other attendees. Peter witnesses Martin Lee transforming into their leader, Mr. Negative. I think that's a newer character in comics. But is knocked unconscious before he can intervene. Spider-Man gets knocked out. Bad stuff starts happening. Following the attack, Norman hires Silver Sabanova and Sable International to supplant the police. Peter befriends Jefferson's son, Miles Morales, and persuades him to volunteer at Feast, which is a homeless organization feeding the homeless. Okay, so the Kingpin creates a vacuum that Mr. Negative wants to show up and take over. And then his first move is to attack the Green Goblin while he's running for mayor. And he's so strong that he knocks Spider-Man out and kills an officer. And after that, it's so horrible that the mayor, the guy running the Green Goblin, didn't hire Silver Sable to step in. Meanwhile, Spider-Man shakes it off and befriends the dead officer's son at the homeless shelter. Peter and Otto Octavius. This is just the opening of the game. Peter and Otto Octavius continue their research into advanced prosthetic limbs. But Norman withdraws their funding in an attempt to force Otto to work for his mega corporation. A carrot and a stick. So Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man's biggest foe, I think, is working with Spider-Man in order to do limb research. But their funding drops. I'm just repeating everything on this wiki. But their funding drops off. As a carrot and a stick, so he goes to work at Oscorp. Which I think happens in the comic books. There's a really good Spider-Man run. I forgot what it's called, but it's the run where Dr. Octopus dies and haunts Peter Parker and takes over, and he becomes a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker ever was. It's the neatest thing ever. He builds an organization like Oscorp, the whole thing. While searching for Martin, Spider-Man discovers that Devil's Breath is a lethal, virulent bioweapon inadvertently created by Oscorp while developing a cure for genetic diseases. What? While searching for Martin. Who's Martin? Okay, Peter and Otto continue their research. It doesn't say, does it? Alright, they've got every character listed. Who's Martin? Rio Oscorp Silver Sable. I'm guessing is a new character. I remember the game. I think Mary Jane gives him a reporter scoop, and he goes off to look for someone. Spider-Man discovers that Devil's Breath is lethal, virulent weapon, innovated created by Oscorp while developing a cure for genetic diseases. So Oscorp is doing its regular business. Bioresearch is how Norman Osborn becomes the Green Goblin. And now they've created Devil's Breath. Martin steals the only sample of Devil's Breath and threatens to release it unless Norman surrenders to him. He's gonna hurt some folks. His breath is that bad. He's gonna hurt some folks with it. And threatens to release it unless Norman surrenders to him. The head of Oscorp. Mary Jane and Spider-Man foil Martin, who is subsequently incarcerated at a nearby maximum security prison called the Raft, while the Devil's Breath is secured. Okay, so they've got it under control. Spider-Man and Mary Jane have it under control. Meanwhile, Otto obsesses over creating enhanced limbs. Okay, Otto Octavius goes back to work that exceed the human body's limitations, creating 4 mechanical tentacles operated from his back and mentally controlled via a neural interface. He reveals to Peter that he is suffering from a neuromuscular disease that will inevitably immobilize him. And that enhanced limbs will allow him to continue his work when his body fails. So, Dr. Octopus, his basic idea is, what do they call it, those TV trays? That's how I see it somehow. He wants a TV tray while watching a show. He's gonna get tired and he wants something to help him. He wants arms to help reach. Meanwhile, Peter warns Otto that the interface could impact his mind and personality. It always does. Dr. Octopus becomes Dr. Octopus because of the mechanics. Otto continues its use in secret, overcome with anger of Norman, while investigating a breakout at the raft. Okay, so Dr. Octopus gets back to work, but he's upset that his funder, I forgot what you call that, the guy funding his research, is being nosy. I know. The Green Goblin wants him to work at Oscorp. I get it. Otto continues its use in secret. While investigating a breakout at the raft, Spider-Man learns that some of his greatest enemies, Martin, Electro, Vulture, Rhino, and Scorpion, have escaped. They subdue Spider-Man. Okay, I tried it with the headphones on, and some noise going on. I've never tried talking with the thing is I could hear myself. Singers have to deal with that, or they're in the recording booth. I bet it calms everything down. Because is someone talking while you're talking, and you have to focus a little more. Okay, where am I? While investigating a breakout of the raft, Spider-Man learns that some of his greatest enemies have escaped. They subdue Spider-Man and present him to Otto, now Dr. Octopus, who warns the beaten Spider-Man not to interfere before retaking the Devil's Breath and releasing it in Times Square. So, the Green Goblin puts pressure on Dr. Octopus, and he can't handle the stress, and it forces him to rush his research, and it's not being done properly, which ends up creating Dr. Octopus. And Dr. Octopus is the most dangerous Spider-Man villain, because he immediately goes and releases all the other crooks from the raft. And then all those crooks beat up Spider-Man and become the Sinister Six all at the same time. And their plan after that is to take the Devil's Breath, which is Oscorp research, That's Oscorp. That's the Green Goblin, which is Spider-Man's most dangerous villain. And they take that and they're gonna hurt everyone in New York City, downtown, causing a mass outbreak that infects numerous people, including Aunt May. New York descends into chaos while Otto's team attacks the city. Okay, the Sinister Six attacks the city. Norman declares martial law. Now he's the mayor all of a sudden. Norman declares martial law and blames Spider-Man for the incident, branding him a fugitive. So, in one swoop, Spider-Man's boss turns into the villain. Peter Parker's boss turns into the villain and frees all of Spider-Man's villains. And then his worst enemy gives it to his worst enemy. And they attack all of New York City together. And then the Green Goblin declares martial law, which nobody wants, which means the military is in the streets now. And all of this is happening. Everyone's poisoned, and it's a military, what do you call it? With the tents? The green zone? It's insurrection? No, insurgency. No, that's not it. It's some sort of military. So the military is taking over now. And the mayor, the Green Goblin mayor, is blaming Spider-Man. And he is now branded as a fugitive, which means wanted on sight. So now Peter Parker, Spider-Man, has no safe place in the city. They really upped the stakes. Spider-Man gradually takes back the city, defeating Electro, Vulture. Electro is the guy with electricity powers. He has a star on his face. And I know they've tried to... Some of Spider-Man's villains are very... It's not even that. Electro specifically. Electro's tried to... They've tried different things with Electro. I've seen him in Daredevil too. He's too far out there, costume wise. But I personally think that Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb understood what they were looking at when they saw Electro. Because they had him fight Daredevil, Yellow, at a Broadway show. He is flamboyant. They had the chorus line, chorus girls kicking, and Electro shows up. He has a very fanciful costume. It's bright green and yellow. I'm saying that because he has a mask that looks like a star. But I also saw one of the best renditions of it when they made him a woman. And I think that's the best Electro I've ever seen. I don't know. I forgot what they. I'm gonna look it up. Electro. Francine Fry is the primary female version of Electro in Marvel Media, appearing as a supervillain in Spidey and His Amazing Friends, and the 2017 Spider-Man animated series. What's cool, I remember her. I think it's the best looking Electro. What they did, it looks like a helmet. There's something about Electro where the image of him is flamboyant, so it's feminine, and it works. But if you look at comic book pictures, everything in comic books works. If you're looking at comic books images, once you drag it into something that looks reality, it can fall apart. And what they've done is it looks like 3D image. I don't know. It looks like a gladiator helmet. It looks like the most out there gladiator helmet. They did a good job. Um, Let me see. Mary Jane infiltrates Norman's penthouse. So this is something that I think is brand new in stories with Spider-Man. Is that they're turning her into Lois Lane. And I kind of like Mary Jane being a supermodel, where you just had to figure out what does she want with Spider-Man. I think that was way more interesting, clever. All right, I'm gonna take a short break. Mary Jane, I think so far Zendaya has the best one because I don't. She's meeting Spider-Man. I think that's Mary Jane. Yeah, she's she's meeting Spider-Man where there's a whole friend group, and it makes I don't know. There's something about it. They're on the same level. I played this game. I'm taking I'm thinking about this, and I didn't like it when playing the Mary Jane levels, where she's snooping around and walking around museums, just to listen. They had levels where she just walks around and listens to people. It's stealth though. She has to sneak around. That's what it was. But it is very much like making someone play Lois Lane in a Superman game. Learns that Oscorp developed Devil's Breath to cure Norman's terminally ill son Harry. Okay. So that's exactly what I was thinking. I've played this game and I forgot about that part. Um there's a saying of good intentions can mean bad omens or something like that. Good intentions pave the road. The road of. I forgot what it was. It was something like the road of bad omens is paved with good intentions. And that's what's happened with. That's what's happened with the Green Goblin. It happened with his life, and then he didn't learn, and he continued, and now it's happened to his son Harry. As a child, Martin was a test subject for the cure, gaining his abilities in an explosion of energy that also killed his parents. It causes hatred for Norman. That must be Negative Man. So, the Negative Man is one of the Green Goblin's test subjects. And he wants revenge. She also learns that an antidote for Devil's Breath exists. It's called Scope. And that Martin has stolen it. Negative Man has stolen all the mouthwash. Spider-Man tracks down and defeats Martin. Negative Man. But Otto arrives. and brutalizes Spider-Man. So Spider-Man tracks down the problem, and then his boss gets there. And beats him up and escapes with the antidote and Norman. That's extra. So they beat up Negative Man. And so he beats up Negative Man and Spider-Man. And then escapes with his boss, who is stressing him out and causing all this trouble. While Spider-Man recovers, Miles is bitten by an Oscorp genetically modified spider that Mary Jane unknowingly carried from Norman's penthouse. I think they should have made that spider bite both of them. Wounded. Spiders are a sign of wealth, by the way. Wounded. Peter built. It's because they collect. Wounded. Peter builds himself an armored suit Peter builds himself an armored suit and confronts Otto atop Oscorp Tower, rescuing Norman. Wow. Okay, this is really interesting. This is... So, Peter feels that confronting his boss is too much. So, but something has to be done. So he decides to protect, he shields himself in the type of armor that his boss uses. Now, Dr. Octopus is different. Dr. Octopus is probably Spider-Man's most dangerous foe. He shows up and he beats up Spider-Man, Negative Man, and Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, and then kidnaps Norman Osborn, who is pressuring him, and he takes him to the top of Norman Osborn's building to tell him off. Otto reveals that he knows Peter's secret identity, and a battle ensues. Spider-Man retrieves the antidote and defeats Otto. Leaving him to be arrested. Peter is forced to choose between using the limited cure to save Aunt May from her imminent death or synthesizing a vaccine for the infected masses. He decides to save everyone. Before she dies, Aunt May reveals that she knows he is Spider-Man too and is proud of him. 3 months later, New York has returned to normal, and Peter and Mary Jane rekindle their relationship. Miles reveals to Peter Parker that he has gained Spider-Man like powers, prompting Peter Parker to reveal his own Spider-Man powers. Having resigned as mayor in disgrace, the Green Goblin enters a secret laboratory where his son is kept in stasis with the black web-like substance. As Norman places his hand on the tank, the substance reacts and copies him. The end. It was a fun game. I remember playing it. This is a part one. This is definitely a part one episode of where I start talking about this game. There are things to point out. The web slinging was a lot of fun. I remember I played the DLC characters. I mean the DLC, and taking down bases is a lot of fun. Doing the bases in stealth mode is amazing. If you can get through all the bases without being alerted, that type of thing. With Spider-Man, it somehow is more fun. Also, I have a criticism about this game. And that was, I wish I could go through the entire game with only web shooters. I don't like hitting anyone with Spider-Man. I thought combat ruined this game. Actually having Spider-Man walk up to someone and hit them. It felt off and wrong somehow. But using the web shooters and the zipline stuff was amazing. And I used to pace the fights so that it would be web shooter only as much as possible. But yeah, it's a neat story. There are things to say about it. I think Negative Man is a false villain. I think it's a story beat that leads into other stuff. And I think most of this game is about I don't know. It's something about caring about. I hate to say authority. Someone in a position above you. And I'm saying that because Norman Osborn is bothering everybody in this game. Dr. Octopus has a boss and Spider-Man has a boss. The main boss of all crime is put away. I don't know. I'd have to really sit and think about this one for a bit. The idea of devil's breath, a plague, I'd have to think about it. But that's a start. It's Spider-Man. It's a really fun game. Um, I haven't played the second one yet. Sadly, I have a back catalog that has 40 some games in it. I am behind on everything. There's so much. I hate it, but I'm all tied up for a while, and then I'm just gonna take it easy and just go through my entire game catalog and just enjoy everything. But if you can hear this or anything, thanks for listening. That's Spider Man.